Well, a very good morning. Thanks for clicking on to the Tuesday edition of Vogan's European Outlook. Lots of very interesting things going on within the atmosphere at the moment. We do now have winter over a large swathe of Europe, and for those in the UK and Ireland in particular, and also the western fringes of mainland Europe, it looks as if winter is heading our way as well, because you can very easily look at that, the charts, the temperature profile, the surface map at the moment, and say to yourself, are we going to miss this one? It does look as if we are going to see cold snow bringing winter to the western side of the European continent. I think especially beyond the 10th of January. Now, this is the ECMWF 500 millibar height anomalies over the next 5-day period. You watch closely here as we skip into the following 5-day period. We start to see the positive over the North Atlantic. So that essentially shuts down the westerly flow. We start to tap Arctic air finally. How much snow we're going to get, how cold we're going to get, all remains very much open to question at this moment in time. But it's generally looking at the overall scope of things. I am watching very carefully the period January 10th through 20th. Now, one thing I want to emphasize, folks, is this disruption to the Arctic atmosphere is not down to stratospheric warming. It's down to the influence, the punch of warm air that we've seen right on the turn of New Year from Storm Frank. You look at the 50 millibar, the cross section of the Arctic atmosphere, and there is still a lot of cold up above. The warming has taken place in the lower troposphere of the Arctic region, and therefore it is evident that it's the storm that caused that disruption, not the stratospheric warming. So therefore, the amount of time we're going to see this colder mid-latitude pattern warmer up into the Arctic is also open to question at this moment in time. But I want to show you here, so you can see here the positive here extending from Greenland down over the North Atlantic, and that's essential. You can see a positive over Greenland, but unless you drag down that positive, it will not shut down the Atlantic pattern. But we're going to see that taking place. We're going to tug on air from the north. Here's hoping we can tug air from the east as well, which would drag in some Siberian cold. But I want to show you the projected snow cover 10 days from now, and it looks rather impressive according to the ECMWF. And this, of course, takes us out to, let's see here, the 15th. Obviously, it's the 5th today, of course. But that is a very, very substantial snow cover across the continent, and indeed the UK as well. Let's have a quick focus in on the UK, and we're definitely talking about plenty of snow over this next 10-day period here. I want to show you, so look at that there. Yes, the south. It could be one of those years once again that the south misses out. I'm just not 100% sure yet. I think your best bet for true snow and cold down across the southern half of the British Isles is more when you've got that straight easterly of the continent here. But it does look as if we are going to shut the Atlantic down for a period of time, and you can see here as we skip out to the surface map of the ECMWF a week from now. So this takes out to Tuesday the 12th of January here, and this is certainly a pattern worth taking note of. We've got, of course, the low pressure, elongated low pressure here to the east of the UK, and of course we've got that high pressure over the Atlantic, and we've got that direct discharge of Arctic air southwards over the UK here. So of course that straight northerly flow tends to be a dry flow, so I don't know how much snow we could get off that. But what you tend to want to see is some form of low pressure, maybe even an Atlantic low mixing with this colder environment. But the overall air mass is continuing to grow colder. As the jet gets forced southwards, we of course see big snowfalls anywhere from the Sierra Nevada of Spain all the way across to the mountains of Turkey here. We're seeing that here through the Balkans, the Alps, which were literally bare at the end of December, are now starting to recover big time with very heavy snowfall indeed. We're seeing temperatures down to minus 26 in the Ukraine. We're talking about temperatures widely into the teens below zero in places such as Poland here. But as we push through the next week or so, this is where we're going to start to see winter arriving in the western side of the British Isles. And this was something highlighted by Mark Fogan Weather over the past several months here. December looked warm. January should see a turnaround. But like I said to you, it's going to be interesting to see just how long this setup can continue for, based on the fact that the polar vortex remains quite strong. This is 192 hours Wednesday of next week here, and we remain in a very, very low height field. When you've got thickness values down to 516, you're probably talking about air temperatures by day struggling to get really much above freezing. By night time, under clear skies, reasonably light winds, you could be talking about minus 10 to minus 15 with this type of setup here. Modelling does tend to struggle to see exactly how cold the air will be. So there's a lot of things to still pay attention to, look at very, very closely here. Nothing is, we don't have the details just yet, but it certainly looks as if we have got a taste of winter coming, which is great to see from my perspective, and I'm sure for yours as well. Thursday the 14th of January here, we remain strong, big strong high, shutting down the Atlantic essentially, pulling in our air from at least the north. It would be great if we could see air coming in more from Scandinavia, where temperatures have been well into the minus 20s, and I think we could see temperatures over the course of this week dropping into the minus 30s, maybe even approaching minus 40. And the reason why I say that is, if you notice here, once we skip through the period here, folks, this is the 850 millibar temperatures. Scandinavia is cold, but it will turn even colder as we go through the period here. I did have a chart which showed temperatures at 5,000 feet in the minus 30s here. I just can't find it at the moment. But look at this here, 240 hours, 850 millibars. You've got the cold air coming in from Scandinavia. You've got a nice warm air mass to the northwest of the UK here. So that is indicative of a nice negative NAO pattern. I'm sure you didn't think I would be talking about that this winter, but it is coming here. Let's hope it can hold on. Even if it does ease off, which it's very likely to through late month, let's hope that February can see the return of this type of setup here. Only time will tell. That's it for today. Do check out the written post. There's a lot of information on there today, so I want you to have a look at that if you can. And I will be back again tomorrow as always. Have a great Tuesday. Bye for now.